Hey guys, welcome to my den. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Chingu, which literally means friend in Korean. It's not my real name, but it's one of my so-called nicknames. Think of me as your friend who's helping you stay up to date with K-dramas as well as Korean movies. I love making commentaries, reviews, and explanation videos about dramas, movies, characters, and etc. Grab your snacks because today's tea is about to be hot, hot, hot. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the 12th episode of Season 2 from the K-drama Love featuring Marriage and Divorce, while also sharing some of my own theories. I reviewed the other episodes and you can find the videos on my channel or in the playlist that I've created for the K-drama. The link will be in my description box. Quick disclaimer, this video will be centered around Yushin and Pyong since that whole episode was dedicated to them as well. Near the end, I will share my theories for them as well as for some of the other characters based on what was shown in the teaser and my own thoughts in general. Feel free to comment on your own thoughts as we go through this video. And remember that these are my thoughts and you don't have to agree. At the beginning of the episode, Pyong and Yushin met at the hotel's buffet. And at first I was disappointed because they were acting as if nothing had happened. But then Pyong mentioned the divorce once more. In retrospect, Yushin was the one acting as if nothing had happened. He wanted to be sweet by getting Pyong food and etc. Meanwhile, she was acting cold. When Pyong mentioned the divorce, he was very upset about this, but did he really think that she would have forgotten everything that happened? He keeps trying to use Jia as leverage over Pyong, and he is a very manipulative individual. He kept asking who the divorce was for and saying that he needed 3 more years. These are the same number of years he asked Ami to wait for him. Yushin is very wishy-washy in my opinion. I feel as though we have yet to unmask who he truly is because he has so many faces. After she said what she wanted, Pyong left the buffet and was getting ready to go to court, but instead Yushin took them back home. This whole conversation was draining, to be honest. It was so heartbreaking, but they both needed it, and I loved that they were given the full hour to talk things out. While inside, Yushin kept talking about how men and women have different DNAs and so they are unable to understand why the other sex does what they do. One thing I noticed about him was how he kept trying to use general examples from other people's lives in order to justify his infidelity. He thought that by going on his knees, Pyong would feel pity for him and that it would cause her to forgive him faster. But she told him to get lost and get up because she couldn't stand the sight of him. Pyong mentioned that she would only forgive him if her mother came back to life, which as we know is not going to happen. I think Pyong felt used and betrayed in the relationship, and after all that she did, he still went after another woman. It disgusted me how Yushin said that he didn't love Ami when he in fact told Ami that he loved her and wanted to be with her in the future. Why can't he just make up his mind? He goes around lying to every woman that he is interested in and vice versa. Yushin kept trying to reason with Pyong by saying that if he was her son, she would have forgiven him already. I just wanted to scream at him and remind him that he is not her son. So that argument or point is very invalid. He tried to use words and logic to sway Pyong so that she could make a choice that would benefit him. One thing that happens when you love someone is that you are able to understand the little things that they do. This is not always accurate, but when someone observes for a while, they can learn and understand even the little things about their loved ones. This is why Pyong said that she knows Yushin was sincere about Ami, but she also acknowledges and knows that he was sincere about her too. I agree with Pyong when she mentioned that love shouldn't change. It goes back to the analogy that Mano made last episode about platinum and how love should be unchanging as well. I think true love doesn't change. This for me also goes back to what I've learned about love in 1 Corinthians 13, which says love is kind, patient, not boastful, not jealous, and it doesn't change, and etc. I think Yushin loves Pyong, but he doesn't love her enough to resist the temptations that he was presented with. He wanted to have it all while enjoying the finer things in life. He kept minimizing his affair by saying that it was a minor step back and that they should overcome it because it would make them stronger as a couple. This baffled me because a lot of people do this when they cheat, men and women alike. They make us think that we are exaggerating when we express the hurt that we feel from the betrayal. I don't know who needs to hear this, but your feelings are 100% valid, and it is totally understandable that you would be hurt by such betrayal. Don't let anyone minimize and downplay your feelings. Yushin tried to make himself look pitiful by stating that as a man, he has needs that he needs to fulfill, and he blamed it all on his youth. Him and Ami are always excusing their actions with youth. Being young should never be an excuse for bad actions. Sure, when you're a baby, you can make bad decisions that you don't understand, but you eventually grow and have reason. So Ami and Yushin using youth as excuses to excuse their affair is disgusting. And as a psychologist, Yushin should know better about the stages of development. I really wished Ami could hear Yushin talk in this episode. He literally called her a stain in his seemingly perfect life. I was like, yikes. And he also mentioned how Pyong was the only woman for him. Pyong used an analogy about a broken vase that the couple used to have and explained how their relationship wouldn't mean anything if it only appears whole on the outside. The trust would be gone, the love wouldn't be the same, and both of them would not have moved on from the past. I felt for Pyong when she realized how ridiculous Yushin's lies were, and when she remembered how she couldn't notice the holes. She was quick to believe him and dismiss anyone who doubted him. It's sad, but I think she couldn't see the lies because she was blinded not only by love, but also by how perfect she tried to make their life. Yushin really thought he had her by mentioning the assets, didn't he? Like, bruh, you think she's only gonna stay with you just because you're gonna give her all your assets? He also talked about how Ami was the sister he never had, and that Ami saw him as a father figure. Does everyone sleep with their sisters and father figures nowadays? Is that the brand new trend, Yushin? I hope not, and I honestly doubt Yushin understands the implications that come from his affirmations. One of the biggest WTF moments in this conversation was when Yushin asked Pyong about what she would do if God told her that Yushin needed to have an affair in order to heal from a deadly disease. Sir, excuse me, but what? Pyong's expression in this scene matched mine in real life. I could not understand why that went through Yushin's mind. Why would God tell you to do that? He is also trying to play with words in order to reason with Pyong, and she calls his talks sophistry. Yushin did a bunch of other play on words to justify his affair. He said it's like women wanting new bags and that they should move on because he's sure that Queen Elizabeth II had many problems in her marriage as well. But like, what does the Queen have anything to do with this situation? Yushin had a hard time staying on the topic because he wanted Pyong to understand his point that the affair was a very itty-bitty minor step back in their so-called perfect life. Pyong regrets their marriage and she regrets saying that she'd remarry him 3 times. Pyong regrets bad-mouthing Shiyun and saying that if she had dolled up, Park Hae-ryong wouldn't have had an affair. I'm glad that Pyong realizes how wrong she was for saying that, but it pained me to see her wonder whether she was to blame for her own husband's affair. Guys, remember this, someone cheating on you is never your fault. Well, I guess unless they cheated on you because you cheated on them. But yeah, you are owed respect and that person should have ended their relationship before starting a new one. I was very intrigued when Yushin referenced the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus because I actually purchased this book a couple weeks ago. I haven't read it yet, so I can't comment on his point, but I've just found that very interesting. When Yushin compared his affair to how kids want new toys, my mouth was wide open. How can he say that? Why did he say that? People are not toys that you can just dispose of when you're done with them. And people are not acquisition that you can just purchase. Yushin also talked about how kids do bad things and are forgiven. His reasoning was that if kids are forgiven, why couldn't he be forgiven as well? Dude, you are a full-grown adult. Why are you trying to excuse your behavior by talking about kids? Pyong feels betrayed because Yushin is not the man she thought she married. He also taunted her by saying that if she had been a good daughter, her mother wouldn't have died. That was such a low blow. Also, saying that the disease would have been prevented if her mom and her were on good terms is subjective because people can get sick anytime, anywhere, at any age, anyhow. He also asked Pyong if she could proudly tell Jia about her divorce to him, and I was like, why? You cheated, sir. You committed the affair, so why are you talking like Pyong should feel guilty for her decision to leave you? When Pyong slapped him, I was very satisfied because wow, as she should. Not gonna lie, but I laughed when Yushin mentioned his dad and how the dad raised him to be chivalrous. He also mentioned that he was a good person because his dad was also a great person. I laughed because I wanted to ask him if he knew that his dad was a perv. I digress though. Yushin told Pyong that if she forgave him, in the future, this could help Jia understand how to forgive her husband if he cheats on her. He talked as if all the women in Pyong's family were cursed and that having a husband who cheats on them was part of their fate. As a father, and to be honest, as a human, Yushin should know better to say such things. He told Pyong that regrets should end with her and that she shouldn't let Jia go through the same things that she went through. Knowing full well that her mother was her weakness, Yushin used her dead mother. I think I need to repeat that part for the people in the back. He used her dead mother as leverage over her. If this is not manipulative, I don't know what is. Yushin also told Pyong that she was not better than the wives of his friends who forgave his friends for their affairs. And I could tell that Pyong felt very unsettled by that comment. It seems like Yushin was trying to point out that the ideal wife was the one who forgave her husband when he cheats. He also kept saying that he was stressed out and so he needed to relieve his stress. Dude, you have a doting wife at home and an amazing daughter. Why can't you talk to them? Or get yourself a therapist if you needed another party to talk to. As a psychologist, it's interesting how Yushin's points go against the very things that he teaches his patients. 1 hour into this conversation, the waterworks came. And wow, the shift in this conversation. Yushin was crying and saying that he tried using Jia as a reason for Pyong to stay. He needs Pyong in his life and he can't live without her. He said he can't live in this house without her and that he made bad decisions due to his flaws and foolishness. The apology seemed sincere and he even bowed down. The two resolved to get a divorce and Yushin told Pyong that if she ever wanted him back, he would welcome her with open arms. I'm glad that Yushin admitted that he's an attention seeker and that he loves to be loved by other women. I hope he gets help because he might have deep-rooted reasons for that. Pyong was still wearing her wedding band, and I'm sure she still loves him. You could tell from how her eyes softened when she saw him cry. This episode was very heartbreaking. Although I believe that Yushin's apology was sincere, it doesn't take away from the 50 minutes he spent trying to justify his affair. I feel as though he may have a god complex. One example is how even though he and Park Hae-ryun both committed adultery, he still felt he was better than Hae-ryun. He believes that wanting to stay with his wife makes him a better person. I wholeheartedly disagree because at least Park Hae-ryun made a choice. I think Yushin needs to take a break from work so that he himself can get help. All the characters need some therapy in their lives, to be honest, and I hope that the ending can promote therapy and healing. Pyong and Jia are going to move to her mom's house, and truthfully speaking, I feel as though Jia will start to notice that something is wrong between her parents. It seems like Pyong and Yushin will be having meals here and there so that they can talk. That's what they agreed on anyways. This review was very long, I know, but I honestly couldn't help it. There was just so much to unpack in this episode. I found it very interesting and I loved it. The actors, producers, writers, and the whole staff really did a phenomenal job with this episode. All the episodes are amazing, but this one really stands out. It reminds me of the episode where Young-ki told off her father in season 1. One thing I wanted to point out was how Yushin mentioned that Jia was the apple of his eye when he fell for Ami because she ate an apple quietly. I just found that juxtaposition very interesting. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Digest it, but be careful. The apple may be poisoned. Now, onto the theories for the next few episodes. Pyong and Ami are going to meet because Ami contacted her, and here we will see the pattern once again where the mistress wants to meet the wife. Someone is the only one who hasn't followed that trend. The two are going to have a conversation, and I think Pyong just doesn't care at this point because she has already made her resolve. Ami wants to meet her so that she can feel less guilty. Ami is not backing down and still really wants Yushin. Soban told his brother Dongma that he was lonely, and I really think he loves children, which is why he is excited to hang out with someone. That's probably also why he gave money to Uram and Jia. Pyong and Dongmi will meet Soban and Dongma at the golf course, and Dongma asked Soban if she was joking. I think that the she that he was referring to was Pyong. My theory is that she will make a move on Soban and that he will be left dumbfounded. Haeryong seems to want to make her marriage work so bad that she is willing to change her ways. She cooked Sion a meal, and his parents told her that she doesn't have to act differently, and she retorted by asking them if this was not what they wanted, if they weren't pleased. I really believe Haeryong loves her husband because she is willing to change in order to please him. Dongmi is going to tell Pyong that she will move in with Yushin. Dongmi is going to aggressively fight for Yushin now. There was a scene where Yushin told Dongmi that she was the only woman he loved. I think that was either Dongmi or Pyong's imagination, but it's most likely Dongmi's. I doubt this scene is real because over the last few episodes, it became very apparent that Yushin got over his Nuna romance with Dongmi. Ami came over to Yushin's place. I honestly feel like she may have forced herself in, but maybe he contacted her to come. I wouldn't be shocked with either scenario. Dongmi is going to be furious because this is supposed to be her moment to shine. She's supposed to be Yushin's new woman. So guys, although the fight between Dongmi and Ami was a false alarm, I think there will really be a fight scene between them soon. My money's still on Dongmi. She will whoop Ami's ass. Anyways, that was it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Episode 13 and 14 will come out this weekend on Netflix, but you could find them on other drama sites as well, such as Drama Cool. If you like this video and want to see more from me, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Take care, may God bless y'all, and until next time, bye!